Hello, my name is Eduardo and today I am here with a new tutorial, and this tutorial it is for AppyBuilder or for Thunkable or App Inventor. Okay, you can follow this tutorial with any of these programs. Okay, well, the idea is that we are going to continue with the previous game that we were making, that it was on a spaceship, and today we are going to add some asteroids. Okay, so if you check my previous tutorial, I made some modifications to the ship, also to the bullet. Okay, so but anyway, so we're going to start with this. Okay, basically the idea is to add some enemies or asteroids to this game. Okay, and I just uploaded, okay, the Spanish version of the tutorial number 1 if you want to check it. Okay, so please feel free to do it, okay, if you prefer Spanish. Now let's start with this. So we have our project, okay, but I'm going to work, okay, in a project. Okay, I will share with you in the description the tutorial, the source file to work with or to follow this tutorial. Basically it is this. Okay, so this is just to avoid wasting time. Okay, so we are here. So, and when you open this, actually I'm going to export this project, okay, that is ink2, and we're going to export it, and then I'm going to upload it for you. Okay, so you have this ink2. Well, now we go here and we're going to save this project as my tutorial recording. Okay, just to remember this. And when you open or you import this file, you will see this. Okay, you will have your ship, you will have your buttons, you will have the clocks, you will have everything ready and to start. Even if you didn't follow the first tutorial, okay, you can work with this file. That's the idea. Okay, and this is the working app or game. So you have the ship spinning, kaboom, kaboom. So I guess that's the best idea. Okay, and be ready because I guess this is going to be a very long tutorial. Okay, so just let me reduce this and also this. That's it. I guess that's okay. So well, the first thing that we're going to do is change this ship, the canvas color to black. Make it look more like in a space. Okay, now we are in the space. So now the next thing, it's we're going to go to the blocks and we're going to continue with everything. Okay, so we have all the blocks and we're going to start adding things. If you check, now I just have this thing working here and we're going to add more sprites, the sprites for these asteroids. So here in drawing and animation, we're going to add image sprite 1, image sprite 2, image sprite 3, and image sprite 4. So we're going to keep the names over there like that, and we are just going to make them invisible. So invisible image sprite 1, invisible, invisible, invisible. So we disappear this. Now we need to upload this image. That is the, I will also share this image. Or you know what? I know what I'm going to do. Just let me go to GIMP and I have here my App Inventor Asteroid. Okay, so let's prepare everything just for you to save some time. I know what I'm going to do. So we have 4 sprites for the asteroids, and also we are going to need some sprites for, we are going to add some borders here to detect collisions, okay, with the edges. So you will see in a moment. So we're going to add now border 1, border 2, border 3, and border 4. So now we need to rename these things, because if not we are going to get confused. What if we call these things? Image sprite 1 is asteroid 1. We rename this asteroid 2. This is going to be asteroid 3. And this is going to be asteroid number 4. Now image sprite 1, it will be top edge, this image sprites will be bottom edge, this one right edge, and this is going to be left edge. Now graphics, we're going to assign graphics to this guy, and we're going to asteroid 1, we're going to use asteroid, okay. Asteroid 2, we're going to assign again asteroid. Asteroid 3, we're going to add asteroid 3, and finally the same for asteroid number 4. Top edge, I have here a picture, upload, and we're going to upload this border up down. That is an empty, well, it is not empty, it's a transparent little I don't know how can I say that, it is like a little line that it's going to act as a border. You can check the dimensions, 512 times 16. So we're going to use this one, select, open. It is transparent, that it's very important, okay. And we're going to assign these to all of them, to bottom and to this one. That's it, okay. So we have everything over there. So we have the graphics that we need, we have the edges, and now what if I export this for you? Okay, so instead of the other file, so I'm going to export this file, okay, the Spaceship tutorial English recording. So let me go here, my projects, this one, and let's export this one for you. So now you have everything in there, so the asteroids and the borders, and we just concentrate on working here. Okay, well, if you remember, we're going to check here. Well, if you check here, we have a size, position, some procedures. We're going to add more procedures, okay. So the first thing, I guess, because we have to make a lot of things, we're going to position the borders. So let's go up or down. I guess we're going to go down. So let's add here a procedure, and we're going to call it borders, okay. Size and position, fire bullet. So now these borders, we're going to place these graphics that I told you. So we have that top edge. Let me make this a little bit bigger. So the top edge, we are going to first set the width. So because this is like a little line that it will be here, like an invisible line. So the width, it will be the size of the canvas. Okay, so we're going to use canvas, and we're going to use the width of the canvas. Simple. Now, for the second, for the height of this thing, we want something not very high. So we're going to use the percentage. We're going to use math times, and we're going to set to the 2%, 0.202. So the 2% of the height of the canvas. So basically that is for this one. And then we're going to place it. We're going to place it here in 0, 0. Okay, so to place it, we're going to select again top edge, and we're going to select here move to 0, 0. Okay, so we go to 0, we duplicate this one, and 0, 0, that it will be in here. It is invisible, remember, we cannot see this thing. Okay, now what else? Well, now we need to add the other ones. We can duplicate this little by little and changing names. So let's duplicate first, duplicate and duplicate. Now we're going to place, instead of top, we're going to set this to bottom. Bottom and bottom. Now position, it's a little bit different. Okay, so sorry. So the width it's the same, the height it's the same, but the position it will be here. Okay, so instead of being here in 0 for the y-axis, we want it to be here. Okay, so we are going to use for this thing the canvas height. And that's it. Okay, so now we have this at the bottom. Now we are going to set the right. Okay, we are going to duplicate this one, or the left. Duplicate, I guess first the left. For the left, we're going to change this to left, left, and left. Now the left, now the graphic will be the width just 2% of the width of the canvas. So we're going to modify this. We're going to use this, and we're going to change from to width. So that means that this graphic it will be here using just the 2% of the width of the canvas. Now for the height, we're going to use the height of the canvas because it has to be a border. Okay, cool. That's it. And position, it is okay if it's in here, okay, in 0, but it has to be 0 again for y. That's it. Now for the other one, we're going to duplicate, we're going to draw this thing, duplicate, and then we're going to change to right. And right, it's basically the same size, okay, for right, 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 right. Now the positioning X is the one that is changing. Now it's changing to this right side, so we have to use the width of the canvas. And Y, it's okay. That's it. With that thing, we have the borders. Now we are going to load this when the app loads. Okay, so we look for initialized. We're going to place it here, initialize, and we're going to call it. After position everything, we're going to position that. That's it. Easy, right? So what's next? Now we're going to create here. Let's go here, and we're going to create a new variable that it will be a new list. We're going to create the asteroids, but we're going to handle them in a group. Okay, so basically that is the idea. We're going to use any sprite, okay, any image sprite properties, and that's better to handle all of them at the same time. So we're going to use here the list. Let's call asteroids group. Let's call it like that, and we're going to say this set this list to an empty list. And when we load the app, we're going to fill the list. So we're going to fill this list. Okay, so we're going to go to the list, and we're going to add items to this wonderful list. We can do this thing at the beginning or at the end. So we take the name of the list in this list, and we have 4 asteroids. Remember, 2, 3, and 4. Now we're going to go for the first asteroid, asteroid number 1. We go to the bottom, then we drag this to the item slot. We duplicate, Control C and Control V, or Control V again. So, and then you just place and use the drop menu to change to asteroid 2, asteroid 3, and asteroid 4. That's it. When we load the app, we will fill the list. Okay, so far so good. Well, we are okay. So now we have the list. Now we need to work with these little friends. Okay, so we need to appear the asteroids. So to do that, we are going to create a procedure called generate asteroids. So let's call it here generate asteroids. Okay, we're going to work with generate asteroids. That's the name for this procedure, and we're going to use for each item. We have created a list of asteroids, remember? Now here we can call this item, we can just rename this to asteroid or current asteroid. You can call it like that, current asteroid, just to make it more meaningful. And now for the current asteroid, in which list? The list that we just created. Okay, it's a list of asteroids. That's it. So we're going to start like making things. Remember at the beginning we said asteroids are invisible. Remember, asteroids are invisible and the edges are visible, but they are transparent, so that is not the same, but well. So now we set these asteroids. The first thing that we need to make with these asteroids is to make them visible. Okay, so we are going to go to the bottom of your AppyBuilder or App Inventor. You need to go to the bottom and you will see this any component. When we work with groups of components, we are going to use any component, so any image sprite, and we are going to use first the property visible. So let's drag it here. You can duplicate this one, and we're going to use also the property height. We're going to set the height of these asteroids, and we're going to duplicate this, and we're going to set also the width. Okay, we go for width, and let me check which also we're going to work with the speed, because we're going to make them move. Okay, speed. So now here, when you work with any component blocks, you have one option that it says of component. So all the time you have to insert here this. Well, not all the time, but most of the times you have to insert the current asteroid or this for each current asteroid of this component, and then the value. For example, here the value is true. We're going to make them true for the current asteroid. This is like a loop. So starting like work with one, the second element in the list, the third asteroid, and the fourth asteroid. Then we're going to continue dragging these things. So first thing, let's add this. Now the values, okay? So don't worry. So now for the height, we're going to use again the percentage. Okay? So we're going to use percentage based on canvas for the height. So canvas height, we're going to multiply this. But in this case, I want to have some like a random value. Okay, so to do that, I'm going to do something similar. We're going to use this one, and we're going to use random. So remember, if I want to have this like that, this asteroid occupies like the 50%, I will multiply this for 0.5. So, but I want a random number. So to do that, I'm going to use the random number or random integer here. And the values is from 7 to the 13% of the canvas. And I have to divide this by 100. Okay, if not, it's not going to work. Because I want to have percentages. Okay, I want to use percentages. Now, it will set the height, okay, based on the canvas height to 7% of the canvas height to 13% of the canvas height. Now, the width, it is the same as the height because it is like a square, this graphic that I did. Okay, so we are going to go here to any image sprite, and we're going to look for the height property, and it's okay, it is here, sorry. Now we're going to insert this in this value, and we're going to add again on component here, and I will use this value that I just calculated here in the width. That's it. So far so easy. Okay, now what's next? Now we need to place the sprites. Okay, so if you check here, let me explain a little bit this. I want to place my asteroids from here to here, from here to here, and not from here, okay, not arriving to the 50% or appearing at the 50% of the screen. No, I want them to appear here at the very top, and probably to move from here to this part. Okay, so moving in the x-axis, okay, and not a lot in the y-axis, so to appear for the first time. So I will explain this here, doing it. Let's reduce this companion. Now here, the speed, well, let's assign a speed for this. Okay, so let's use another random number. We don't want to have very fast asteroids. Let's assign 1, 2 for the speed. I guess it's okay for the game. Then we will modify this, or we can modify. Now, as I told you, we need to place these sprites. We're going to use the position here, point, call image sprite point, no, call image sprite moved, okay, 2. So, and we're going to set it before the speed. So now we're going to place them up first. Remember, we drag this here, component. We're going to place them based on the percentage again. So we're going to use something similar to this, but based on the width for the x-axis. For the x is width. So now here it's like the 0%, and here is the 100%. So we want this thing to appear probably, okay, from the 8% of the canvas width, so probably here, okay, to the 80%. Okay, so from here to here they will be appearing, okay, in the x-axis. Now for the y-axis it is something similar. We duplicate this and we change this to height because it's a y-axis, and now here is the 0%, here is the 100%. I don't want them to appear here or here or here. I want them to appear from here. Okay, so we can use very small values, I guess from 1 to probably 5%. Okay, and that's it. They will be appearing from there. Okay, so now we can use this procedure to see if this is working as we want. But first, what if we refresh the screen? I am refreshing the screen because I have created some variables, okay? So, and these variables were not loaded. So let's refresh this. I always, to refresh the screen, I always add something here, or just go to screen and right here 18. I'm thinking that we need a refresh button in App Inventor or AppyBuilder. So we refresh. And obviously the asteroids are not going to move because they are not, this procedure is not loaded. So, but we can try it using a companion. So, and let's use the procedure to see what's going on over there. Let's do it. And that's it. If you check, all of them are going to the heading, the default heading that it's 0, and they are going to the right. Now, what if we change a little bit this? We want them to face or to go to the ship's direction. We have a very interesting block here in any component that it's called image sprite move to, we'll call image sprite, let me check here, yes, let's use, there is a target, call image sprite, point towards, okay, towards the target. In this case the target will be the ship, the spaceship. Okay, so now what if we insert it in here, and that's it. So these asteroids, duplicate this one, are going to go to this position. So now I'm going to select my target. I will go to the ship sprite. I'm going to the bottom and just drag its name. Okay. So now if we try to do it again, let me check if we can do it. And that's it. All of them are facing the spaceship. Well, this direction. Okay. So, and that's it. That's good. But then they go to the border and nothing is happening. So in that case we need to detect the collisions. Okay, so that's the next step, detect collisions. Okay, so well, so please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Okay, if you are like using these tutorials and find them useful, okay, finding them useful, please subscribe. Now we're going to create another procedure. This procedure is going to detect detections with the borders. Okay, the borders, the top edge, the bottom edge, the left edge. Okay, borders or edges. So let's call them edges now because I just called them. So let's create the procedure. And let's use this collide edges. Collide edges. So this is for the asteroids. Okay, so and we're going to use here for each again. And we're going to rename this to for each asteroid. Okay, in which list? Well, in the list of asteroids, or the group of asteroids. Okay, and we're going to check the collisions. For this check, this is very interesting. I was like suffering in the morning, okay, when I was preparing the tutorial, but I guess I have a pretty nice result. So if okay, and we're going to use here logic. We're going to use logic, and then we're going to use equals, and then through I mean. So if, and then we go to any image sprite, and then we're going to use this block that it's that it says colliding, and then we drag asteroid as usual to component. And then check for each asteroid in the group or asteroids list, and this guy, okay, this guy has a collision with whom? With a border. So let's add here a variable that it, and we're going to call it border. It's not like a variable, but well, then we're going to drag it in here. If we have a collision, for example, with border number 1, so it will detect it like true. It's true that it will we are having collision. So we are going to do something. We are going to move the sprite to a different position. So we are going to reset the position. So that's why we duplicate this from the previous procedure. We're going to use the same values. Okay, so we're going to use the same values. And we're going to use also this one, point forward, and we're going to use also speed. So the same idea. Okay, so now I will explain you another thing, but let's see if this is like working. Now procedure is not working because we haven't loaded this thing. And also we haven't loaded generate asteroids. Okay, so but well, to work with this, we are going to, let's go to the right now, and let's go here. We have the ship clock. Oh, sorry. And let's use for this. We're going to use first the top edge. Okay, so we're going to use this one. We're going to select collide with and check. This is very important. The procedure that we just made, that is collide edges. So we're going to use here, and in this part that I just add, okay, remember that I added like a temporary value. So I'm going to use its name. We go to the bottom, and that's it. Now, top edge is that one. We duplicate this one, and we change it to bottom edge, and we change this to bottom edge. Each. Then we duplicate this one. Very careful, guys. Pay attention to the names because sometimes it is confusing. Left to left. And finally, we duplicate this guy to right, and then to right. That's it. Okay, so this is going to help us to detect the collisions with when we have collisions with the left edge and these things. So now what if we refresh the screen? It's a good time to refresh the screen again. Then we go to the blocks. Then we're going to generate this manually. Let's go here. Let's wait for the asteroids, I mean for the game. Okay, then we just do it, and then we have this wonderful asteroids moving. Then check, oh, we have an error. We have to check where is the this thing happens with the procedure that we just created. I'm sure about that. Okay, so let's see if this yeah, it's because I was using another name. It's just copy. So let's just rename this to asteroid. Be careful, guys, when you rename these things, because here I just call it asteroid. So that's why. Yes, I understood. Sorry, my fault. Okay, I guess that's okay. Let's generate these friends, and we hope we don't have any errors. And that's it. They touch the edge and they disappear, and then they go again and attack this poor ship. Now let's add something extra, a little randomness to this, because we don't want them to always go to the ship, directly to the ship. So to do that, here in the collide edges, when we have a collision, let's add this, that it's very useful, a condition. We're going to use if, and we are going to use this if condition after this, okay, after the position, and we're going to set the speed under, and this it's going to be inside this if. The condition, it will be this. We go to math, and we have a very interesting block that is random fraction. So now random fraction, it will create a random fraction, a number between 0 and 1. Okay, so 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.3, 0.4, etc, etc, etc. So now we drag here if a random fraction, every time we have collision, it is like, what about less than 0.3, so we're going to call these guys to go after this in this direction. Now check, this guy now is not going to the ship, because probably the number that it got, it was like less than 0.3. Let's say to 0.35 to make it like that, and in that case it is changing. Okay, so I guess it works really good. Also, if we check here, nothing happens if I fire, so we can disappear these friends. So how? Well, it's pretty much the thing that we just did with this procedure collide edges, that it's pretty useful. We go here, and then if we have collision with the bullet, okay, check. If we have collision with the bullet, ship bullet, if the ship bullet collides with, let's rename this to ship bullet, collide edges, ship bullet, we're going to run this procedure, okay, but also we're going to check. It's not disappearing, the ball just continue, or the bullet, oh, I am terrible, destroys and continues. So we want to destroy the bullet, okay, so the bullet disappears. So to do that, we're going to disappear the bullet every time we have this kind of collision. So, well, I guess we need to add just some things over there. What is a good idea over there? So let's add here a very nice condition. If, check, if, and then we use logic here, and then we are going to check if the collision it is with someone different from ship, okay, the spaceship, because we are here, okay, and the ship is another sprite, so we don't want to detect this as a good collision, okay. So now if we have a collision with someone that is not the spaceship, so that's why we are going to use here the spaceship. So that's why check, I use not, no equals, okay, not equals to spaceship, okay. So it's with any other thing, like any other object, like these asteroids. So we're going to call this procedure, and also we are going to reset the bullet. To reset the bullet, we are going to call here size and position bullet. That is the one that we use at the beginning, and then we're going to disable the button, okay, I mean enable the button fire, because when we fire always we just disable this button, and we just re-enable the button, but when we had collisions with the edges, but now we are not having collision with the edge, we are having like collisions with the asteroids, so we're going to set them to true, I mean, that's it. So let's refresh everything and let's see if we have finished or we have to make some adjustments. Let's wait for companion, my friend. Please don't tell me that you're tired. I guess it's tired, companion. It's not refresh. Okay, so we have the ship, okay guys, and now we just need to activate the asteroids. How can we make this? Well, we don't have any start game procedure or something like that, okay. I'm worried about that, so probably we can add it. I didn't think about this, okay, so I don't know, I guess we will leave it like that, and let's use something very simple. I guess the start game you can add it later, so let's add a sensor to start the game, a clock, I mean. Let's rename it and let's start game. This thing, it's going to start the game when we have like, when 2 seconds have passed when we started the app. So we go to the blocks, we go here, start game, and we are going to add this to the clock here, and it will call the generate for the first time, the generate asteroids. Then it will disable itself, of course. Timer enable, we are going to disable this thing. That's it. Pretty nice, pretty nice. So let's refresh the screen if it's possible. I guess it's not refresh. Well, I guess its companion is tired. For my phone. So let's save. It's a good time to save the project. AppyBuilder isn't responding. Well, do you want to close it? Yes, I want to close it. So please have a break. Then we're going to go here and we're going to reset the connection, and then we are going to run this guy. Let's clear the cache, live testing, and let's launch the app. I am having some problems because I am using a previous version of Companion, so the new one, it is not working. So I hope they will fix this as soon as possible. KTQ. Let's hope this is working right now, because we are almost finishing. Okay, yes, I have an old version, sorry, my fault. Okay, and that's it. Oh, it was really fast. So probably the clock, the start clock, it has to be something like, let's say 5,000, 5 seconds. 5,000, it's like 5 seconds. We start like moving, we don't see anything, and then boom. And then if we fire, well, I have them, they are not killing me right now. I guess that's for another tutorial. I guess for today it is quite enough. And I am thinking about moving this ship to the bottom, okay, and then just having them like spinning or rotating like this and attacking from the bottom. Okay, I was thinking also to have asteroids coming from here, okay, to the top. It is possible, it is not very difficult, but I guess it can be like difficult, especially because remember, this is not multi-touch. But I guess it's a pretty nice project, and also the ship is pretty big, so we can change this here. That's the good thing about having procedures. We just modify some things and that's it. So what about if we check the size of the ship? The bullet? No, the ship. It is like no, this is not bullet. Be careful, guys. Oh yes, this is the bullet. Yes, size and position of the bullet. Ship sprite. It is the 20%, so probably not 20%, but what about 14%? So let's run the procedure. Okay, instead of like loading everything, let's load the procedure here. Let's do it, and let's see if the ship looks better. Yeah, I guess now it looks smaller. Probably the ball of energy, it's too big. Probably we can reduce it, okay, to instead of the 7% to 0.05%. Okay, so we go here, then we try it. Yes, it looks better. I really like it. And of course you can move some things from here, okay, from the asteroids. The interval, so you can set the interval to 10 to make it look a little bit smoother. I mean the speed and these things. Let's see if this is not crashing because it were lots of changes. So let's wait a little bit. And we're almost finishing. Please don't forget to subscribe. Okay, I will share the file, okay, the working file for today, okay, with you in the description. And I will be like publishing this in Spanish soon. Okay, so let's wait. Because it's like refreshing things. Okay, I will give you this file for you. Okay, also check my Patreon page if you want to support my job. Okay, and now check, it's pretty fast, it's pretty smooth, but it's pretty fast. So now we can reduce the speed, okay, in this case. So we can go to speed. Okay, so remember, border generate asteroids. So from 1 to 2.5, that's it. Oh, that's insane. It looks better. No, it doesn't. Let me check to 2.5. 2.5, that's it. 2.5. So fast. So let's set it to 0.5 to 1.5. Well, thank you my friend. Sorry you're not seeing these changes in my old phone. And as I told you, check my Patreon page. Okay, I will share this finished file with my Patreons. Okay, and just let's refresh this. Let's save the project and just let tutorial recording. Let's refresh the page. Let's go to companion. Let me close it. And we are almost finished. Okay, so let's stop this thing, and that's it. Well, so we are practically done with this tutorial. So just to show you the finished app, guys, please give me a second. Sorry for this. I know this is like quite annoying for you probably, and I hope the tutorial was clear for you. Sometimes I speak quite fast, okay? Sometimes I don't explain very well things, okay? Remember, I'm not an expert, I'm just a learner, okay? App Inventor learner. But I really enjoy making these things. Well, we have this, we wait just some seconds for... Yes, they look more acceptable. Just some little things, okay? So I guess it looks okay. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. My name is Eduardo. Just let me check this in just for you, okay? So don't forget to check my other videos that I have. Check the previous tutorial. I have the part 1, but even if you haven't checked that and you don't want to check that one, you can just work with this one. You have the working file in the description. Share with your friends, share with your classmates if you are studying or you are making these projects in App Inventor. Okay, I will be happy, okay, if you help me and you subscribe to my channel. Okay, my name is Eduardo and this is my channel, App Inventor Apps, okay, as a tool, okay, that's Mexican word. I will see you guys. Thank you very much. Bye bye. And thank you, Josep Perez, for that message.